You know, we've talked in the past week and a half or so about how important the month of November is, that you just want to be playing your absolute best football in meaningful games, you know, in November. And this was a meaningful game for a lot of reasons. Love the start that we came out with. You know, went down the field and scored in 4 plays, and our defense from really start to finish was dominant. You know, took the ball away 4 times. I think limited to a total of 138 yards and gave up 0 points. And offensively moved the ball, missed a field goal, turned it over on downs, turned it over uncharacteristically, you know, in their end, but then still found a way in the end to put points on the board, and you know, it was a really good victory for our team.
Defensively, again, just a performance that you can hang the hat on them winning that ball game and really never allowing an offensive score. But 39 yards in the second half. That's the 3rd time this year the defense has not allowed a team in the second half to even crack the century.
Yeah, it was an impressive effort and an impressive day. And it came from, you know, a multitude of different people, and it came consistently, you know, throughout. And it was, you know, they definitely allowed for us to win that football game.
One of the moments that you kind of look at, Max has 4 TFLs, a couple sacks on the day, but the play that he doesn't get the quarterback, the play before, second that Jeremiah and Eddington will bring him down. Next play, he goes right back at him, forces the strip sack, and I think that's just kind of what has been the story of the season. He may not get it the first time, but he finds a way the second time.
Relentless, you know, he's been relentless, you know, and he's, you know, he gathers a crowd, he's got people's attention, but he's really been good. And again, he'll be one of the first to tell you that because we have other guys on the defensive line that can get to you as well, you know, it makes it tougher for them just to focus all their attention on Max.
Special teams wise, limited Central in that category, moved into #1 slot. In kick return defense, not only in the MAC but in the nation, the ability for Coach Nunez to have really done a masterful job with these special teams the last year plus that he's been with them. And now especially, it shows the role that new full-time assistant allows just special teams concentration each and every day as well.
We've definitely taken advantage of it. You know, Coach Nunez has done a great job. He really has. You know, we left last season feeling as though our special teams as a whole were healthy, but that we needed improved play from our specialists. And you know, our punting has been fantastic. And then our kicking, we're off to a, you know, in terms of the specialists, a really strong start, and you know, still finding our way a little bit there. But it's the, you know, the coverage units and the protection and whatnot. The return game, you know, has been really strong.
Return game, Blake has the one big return. You're busted inside Central's 20. A really strong aspect. Now teams are having to really watch him take off down the field.
Yeah, in terms of a punt returner, you know, we want someone who, #1, is going to make great decisions. You know, so when you make the great decision, we try to not give up, you know, bleeding yards with rolling punts and whatnot. And so you want a guy who's capable of catching almost every punt, but still the ability to make the right decision about whether he can and or should. And then really after that, I mean, we do a pretty good job of getting hands on people and disrupting them down the field to give our returner a chance for a return. But I tell Blake, I'm like, look, you make a great decision, and whenever you can, you catch it, and anything after that, you know, is on you. And that's all, you know, frosting on the cake. And he's so shifty and has such great control over his body that he's tough to tackle. He's really helped us.
Final home game in the factory for 18 seniors, including then also 3 managers that your program has had the luxury of having around for the past 4 years. I know it would take forever to talk about each of them, but what have they meant as a collective group to not only the football team, but you personally? Well,
I'll start with the 3 managers, you know, have been with us. You know, You know, Ben Herman has just been an awesome leader in our equipment area, and you know, part of that is the people that he's surrounded himself with. And you know, I've never experienced how the student managers have elevated a practice like I have here. The attitude, energy, and then their competence. You know, I'm serious. All of that stuff, it makes our practices run so smoothly, and they bring something. They bring something to the table, and so we're going to miss those guys. I mean, they're absolutely a part of our program, and so they'll be honored. The last game, like you said, in the factory, and you know, for the senior group, every senior group is special. You know, this one is going to be sort of an extra lump in my throat. The winner of 13-14 is a crazy whirlwind memory, you know, in my mind. You know, moving here, family not being here, hiring an entire staff, and recruiting, you know, a class. It was the first year of the dead period, if you remember that, from, you know, middle of December to middle of January, where, you know, you couldn't visit people, and so it was fast and furious. And just pinch myself, you know, 5 years later, that we're so fortunate to have those guys, you know, jump on board and say, hey, we want to be a part of trying to do something really special here and make the department, the university, IPSI, and then even the region, of course, all the living alumni proud, the football program here at Eastern Michigan. And you know, we've been far from perfect, but those guys have been an absolute core in the progress that we've made, and so yeah, it's not here yet. So not going to get into that mindset, but know that it's coming quickly, and it's a special group.
This week, the opponent, Akron Zips. Last week, hard-fought game for them against the still undefeated Northern Illinois Huskies. They lose by 10, but have shown some real fight this Akron team has on the other side.
They're very good. They're very good. You know, I think the country took notice, knowing that they're the returning, you know, MAC East champs, played in the MAC championship last year, and then, you know, the week after we beat Purdue, they went to Northwestern and beat the team that beat Purdue, and so then they've played really good football since that time, and a very talented team, obviously a team with high aspirations, having been in the MAC championship, 8 returning senior starters on their defense. I think it's 5 on their offense. They're very good, and you know, I just go back to 2015 is the last time we played them. When I was here for homecoming, and was the second worst day of you know, my coaching days here at Eastern. It was the week after we played at LSU and lost, but was on national television, and you know, played them tough through, you know, 4+ quarters, and a lot of slaps on the back, and boy, good job, you know, to all of us, and then just was not pleased at all with how we came to play, you know, that next week. So it's been a few years. They've even gotten better. I believe we have as well. And there's a lot at stake at this football game. So it's going to be 2 good MAC football teams with playing for something.
Cato Nelson for them, a very talented quarterback, but missed some time last week. What kind of difference maker is he for Akron?
I remember watching him on TV last year. I think it may have been his first game where he came in, maybe not, or maybe first start, but it was a cold, you know, MACtion game, and here comes this freshman from Florida into the game, and he was just, you know, ice cold composure, and a phenomenal athlete. He's running it, he's throwing it, and I mean, I just remember going, wow, this guy's dynamite, and he really hasn't looked back since. He's been a great player for them. So many people are dinged up this time of year. I know that they had some extra time to prepare for us, and so I'm sure he'll be, you know, ready to go.
How do you balance the fact that this is a high-pressure game for what your season means overall, plus the last game for your seniors in the factory? How do you balance the pressure of, okay, we need to get this win, and also the fact that this is the last game for a group of seniors that have really changed the brand of football for you? How do you balance that and make sure that the team has the right mindset coming into this week?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really balancing those two things. Pressure is not a word that I would use. There's no game that's more important than another. You could argue sort of the non-conference and the conference games in terms of playing for a MAC championship. This is a MAC game, and we're in a situation where we have 2 more left in the regular season, and we want to play well and win those badly, but no more so than our first MAC game, at Buffalo. I mean, it's it would be disingenuous for me to say that we somehow could want to win this one more than, any of the others. And then in terms of like the balance, I would say that we welcome, celebrating and realizing the moment, that it's the seniors' last game, in the factory. I think that's, you don't want to get sort of overwhelmed with, the emotion of all of that. I think that's something that you got to keep in check. But at the same time, I don't believe that you should disregard it at all. I think that, there are moments in life that are just, or can be really special, and guys realizing that's their last time playing, in the factory and with much to play for and all of that. I think that's something that you embrace and, hope that you don't get carried away with the emotion, but, use some of that to your advantage as well.